Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Balbriggan Town Hall. Tonight we're here to go to the next stage of the public realm plan. A steering group comprising councillors, county councillors, council staff, members of Balbriggan Chamber of Commerce have been together since last August to work on this programme to improve the town centre, the streets and the open spaces of Balbriggan. In July we had a public information meeting. In August of 2010 we appointed a LOCI who were here tonight to give the presentation, and in October of 2010 we had our first public workshop. Today is basically a follow-on from that workshop where people gave their opinions of what they thought should happen in the town, and tonight LOCI are here to present you what they've done so far, and then following that we will have a discussion on any views people have to make additions to that plan. The stages are, the LOCI preferred chance, they have a plan which is short and medium and long-term objectives, because we've got to remember that money isn't necessarily here at the moment to do everything in one go, but some things can be done along the way. The steering group will take the plan and it will be then sent for adoption by Fingal County Council and Balbriggan Town Council, and they will work on the implementation of the plan. Some of the work is already, in small ways, already starting to happen. Selena O'Rourke was appointed as the town architect to help us along the way. The Balbriggan Chamber of Commerce through Aoife Bannon have been working with the programme in the schools. Balbriggan Town Council and Fingal County Council have been working with David Pratt and the traders to do a coordinated paint scheme for the centre of the town. Dulux have shown an interest in this, and that will be progressing in the next couple of weeks as well as a community initiative. We've also had the services of Joe Usher, who's the planning intern with the Heritage Council, and he's put together a package for a heritage trail and a Slimas Lánta, and we're working on that now at the moment as well. So that's things that have happened so far. So what I'll be doing is I'll be handing over to Jonathan, and he will give you, he will present the presentation for you here tonight, and then after that we can have a few words about it. Okay? Thank you.
Where we are at the moment, we've been through this sort of linear process and through consultation and trying to establish a vision for where Balbriggan should be going, and we're at the stage of now developing draft strategies and proposals which we'll introduce this evening and try to explain to you as best we can. And the purpose of this meeting really is to get people's feedback on these, and then we'll report back to the council on that feedback, and before finalising proposals and a draft and a final draft plan, which will then be part of and incorporated in Fingal's policy. Balbriggan in the wider landscape, you can see its strategic significance there on the coast, relationship to the M1, very important access, the Dublin to Drogheda and Belfast railway line as well, surrounding hills and landscape, very important part of the town as well, and the links to the landscape are very important. The land uses in the town, again highlighting that point, you can see all the colours along the main street, there are all the different uses, including residential uses, and then it breaks down very quickly immediately off the town into just, when you see the yellow, that's just houses, and the blue institutional lands, which are also important. Schools are very important, giving life to the town through the presence of children and so on, activity. Connection from the station is very important. The impression that visitors arriving by train get into the town, not great really with the quality of surfacing on that street, and you arrive into a car park. Quality of open space is an important part of the context for the study, and I'm just going to hand you over briefly to Dovie McDonald, who the landscape architect who prepared the qualitative study and proposals of the existing open space network.
A few sort of studies we did was, the first thing is to map all the spaces in the town, but also we mapped all the footpaths and to get an idea of where there were maybe weaknesses or pinch points. And the sort of obvious one that started to cry out is this, where the main street crosses the river, because as you have quite a generous river park here, and then you have the space that fans out under the viaduct, but in between the river is sort of lost at the back of buildings. Another important part of our study was we actually walked around the town on a number of different days, weekdays and weekends, and at several locations in the town, we did little footfall surveys to see, how many people were passing and what they were doing, and made notes of those. And what tells us is the busiest part of the town is Drogheda Street up here in this zone here, and there's also quite a lot of activity in the square. But then it quite quickly peters out down Dublin Street, and to the north, you almost feel you've left the town centre, I think, by the time you walk past the Super Value. What came out is a lot of the spaces that have high environmental quality, the beach around the Martello Tower, the harbour and the park, are some of the lesser used parts of the town centre. So we thought, well, that's obviously a pity, and something that you'd obviously try to improve on. Car parking came up as a big issue during our first workshop, and one observation we had was that how the pattern of commuter parking in the town centre. So, for example, what's called the Key Street car park, or the car park under the viaduct, on a weekday, that car park is 80% or more full or occupied. And coming back then on a weekend, we observed that the car park was almost virtually empty, only 20% occupancy. So that's a very, very dramatic pattern. And also Saturday in a town centre is, imagine would be your shopping day, or where people go into town, or go to meet friends or hang out. So so it's obviously a very, very strong pattern of people come into the town centre and park and take the train out of Balbriggan. But unfortunately, maybe there isn't much traffic in the opposite direction. And maybe just a final point I'll make is, John introduced it earlier on, the effect of the rail line. A very positive effect, of course, is your connection from Balbriggan to other places. But the problem in its disconnecting the town from the coastline, and that in 3 locations, the underpass routes aren't all that attractive, and there will be perceptual and security issues with those. And that ultimately one of the big issues for Balbriggan is how to reconnect itself, and improve its connection with the shore and with the harbour.
Thanks, Dolby. Okay, the strategy part, which hopefully will be more of particular interest to you. The vision for the strategy really is guided by the 3 notions of people places, active places and attractive places. I'm just going to talk you through very quickly what we mean by that. So, balancing the needs of all the users of the place, including pedestrians, cyclists and motorists, that are safe, well maintained and easy to navigate. So the quick win proposals for this category will be about measures to increase the amount and quality of pedestrian space, improving lighting, the passive surveillance of spaces, cycling facilities and routes, wayfinding, that means signage, and rationalising car parking arrangements. Better and a greater use of the public realm through outdoor events and festivals. A lot of bang for your buck in a festival compared to a fancy litter bin. Removing visual clutter, very important. This is signage and things which detract from the place rather than adding to it, and sort of from the appearance of the historic buildings as well. Marketing the town's attractiveness, and then to putting the message out there that Balbriggan is a place to come, not just to visit but to do business as well.